Hello everyone and welcome to this quick video on inversion. This is a video a lot of you guys have asked for. This video is part of a broader course which I will link to in the description. Thank you so much and happy watching.
If you've been taught anything about inversion, it's probably that it occurs in questions, just as in English. Are you human? Er du menneske? Easy. Or it occurs if you have a time or a place. Now, I'm actually surprised at how many people have not learned this time or place rule, because that's quite easy to remember. Let's say at school, I eat apples. In English, as you can hear, and I'm not sure in German, so I'll leave that out, but in English, you can hear there's no inversion. In school, I eat apples. But in Danish, there is. So pause the video and think, how would you say it? So I hope you paused the video and tried, but it's I skolen, and don't, if you said I skole or whatever, til skole, it doesn't matter here. I skolen spiser jeg æbler. Spiser jeg. Ikke i skolen, jeg spiser æbler. No, i skolen spiser jeg æbler. Why? Because of skolen. Because skolen is a place. Okay? So it can be any place. Let's say, på arbejde, at work, er jeg chef. At work, I am boss. I am the boss. På arbejde er jeg chef. Not på arbejde jeg er chef, but på arbejde er jeg. Because it's a place. The same with time. Yesterday, I was bored. Actually, let's say something else, because this will not translate very nicely into Danish. Let's say, yesterday, I was tired. I går, and I know a lot of people actually don't know the word for yesterday, or blank on it for some reason. I går, so don't worry if you did. But try to pause the video and translate it. Yesterday, I was tired. I går var jeg træt. Again, inversion because time. Yesterday. In 5 years, I will be older. Om 5 år vil jeg være ældre. Vil jeg. Not om 5 år jeg vil, but om 5 år vil jeg. So let's say this is the baseline of inversion. 3 things to keep in mind. 1 is for a question. Are you human? Er du menneske? Sorry. The next one, time or place. So it's 2, kind of one rule. Okay? Tomorrow, i morgen. Again, some people kind of sometimes blank on tomorrow. Or, oh no, I don't know any Danish because I don't know yesterday or tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I morgen. And then I have an example here, sorry. I morgen skal jeg på arbejde. And you know that this is inversion now because it's tomorrow as a time. So here it's obviously the question. Here it's obviously the place. Here it's obviously the time. So far, so good. This is not the tricky part of inversion. Now comes the tricky part. But it's been made tricky. And it shouldn't be. Because just as in many other areas, the most powerful words in Danish are the tiniest, the smallest words. Just like it's a little country. It's a language of little powerful words and of little powerful people. But we're actually quite tall often. But I am not as tall as other Danes, but I'm more average. So, det er ikke lang tid siden, at jeg gjorde det. Here, the point is at. It's a little word, but it's a powerful word. And it changes the trajectory of the sentence. it is not long time since, or let's just say it is not long ago that I did it. Now the that, why is it so powerful? It is powerful because it cancels out the inversion. Okay? If you have a little word like this, I call them linking words. Others call them conjugations. Okay? Or whatever fancy grammatical term you want to use for it. Linking words, little words, between commas. Or between a comma in the two parts of the sentence. Et, that, right? Easy to remember, that becomes et. One of the easier little word linking words. This cancels out the inversion. The inversion is the natural state of a sentence in Danish. After a comma, that is. In the beginning, right? Det ikke lang tid siden. We could not invert that and not make it a question. Det ikke lang tid siden? That's a question. But after the comma, det ikke lang tid siden, comma, the natural state is inversion for the next part. But that natural state can be cancelled out by a linking word. In this case, it's et. So the one under, and by the way, maybe you can sometimes see this written in this way. Danes love to do this. And this is kind of nasty because, well, now that we removed et, shouldn't we do this? Det ikke lang tid siden gjorde jeg det. No, because, and here's the nasty part, the et is implied. But don't worry too much about this because this can only happen with et. For the other linking words, they cannot just be implied or like in this kind of way. It's only for et. So you can see people write this, and you can do it as well. But just you have to know that you don't invert after the comma because the linking word et is implied, and that linking word cancels out the inversion. Sometimes we can begin a sentence here with a linking word, and let me just put et back here so that we can understand and we kind of have that as a point. In the next sentence, for lang tid siden gjorde jeg det. So simply, we don't have inversion here because we don't have a linking word. The linking word is here. But that doesn't matter so much. The point that matters is we don't have a linking word there. If we don't have a linking word, there's nothing to stop the inversion coming through. Let's make this more clear. Here are some examples of linking words. You can see the comma kind of stops here because the list is long. But it's these little words. Fordi and for, by the way, many people have trouble with this. They mean the same. Some people also don't have trouble with it. Let's look at the examples. Jeg vil gerne være Superman, men det er svært. Now, first thing I want to say about this sentence is vil has a double meaning in Danish. Also something a lot of people are not taught. Vil can either be I will be Superman. Here, jeg vil gerne være Superman, but that's not what it means. It means I want to. And this is the gerne is kind of showing this. Jeg vil gerne. Okay, we're talking about vil, not as in I will, but I want to. But gerne is a useless word. It's actually a terrible word because we can just say, jeg vil være Superman, men det er svært. And it still means I want to be Superman. So gerne is doing nothing, but it is here clarifying a little bit that vil is, in its dual meaning, it is the second meaning. It is the I want to and not I will. But that's a little bit besides the point. The point here is that we have the linking word, of course, men after the comma. Jeg vil gerne være Superman. Men. Men, but. It's probably one of the most powerful, of course, because it changes the sentence completely. I want to be Superman, but it is different. So after men, no inversion. Okay? No inversion because it cancels out the inversion. Men det er svært, not men er det svært. If we did it as a question, sure. Sure, we can do that. I would like to be Superman, but is it difficult? Question mark. It's a question for Superman. But if it's not a question, men is powerful and it cancels out inversion. Here, immediately, you see the linking word in the first sentence, and your alarm bells should go off. And you should say, okay, if the linking word is in the first part of the sentence before the comma, it will probably not be in the other. Now that I think of it, if you say the linking word in the beginning, I don't think it can actually be after the comma. Hvis du gerne vil være Superman, I don't think we can even put a linking word after the comma here, because we have it in the first. Maybe we could have actually de here. You see this de? We could actually do this. If you want to be Superman, then it is difficult. And interestingly, it doesn't cancel out the inversion. So perhaps there is here a little bit of an exception to the words here canceling out. But this exception can only occur, and it is very rare, by the way, that people would write in this way. Most 90% of the time, people write like this. And this is also kind of old-fashioned. But that said, the reason why we don't invert, the reason why there's an exception, is this over here. They're so powerful, these linking words. And because it's in the first part of the sentence, we kind of, in a way, don't have room for it to be that powerful over here. Here, I want you to pause the video and try to think about, jeg vil ikke have, han skal med. I want you to think about this when you pause the video. Why is there not an inversion, since there's no linking word? So I hope that you came up with the answer that the reason why there is no inversion is that the linking word is implied. And if the linking word is implied, it can only be one word, and that is et, of course. Okay? Here, by the way, vil is that